Hi guys, welcome back. It's Sports with Mono and Mono. It's November 13th, 2021, and again, we thank you for listening, and I'm here with my partner Steve. Not only my partner, but my youngest brother.
Good morning, Jim. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stellar performance of Sports with Mono and Mono that's about to unfold today.
Yeah, beautiful day in the Northeast.
Yes, it is. You're heading to some high school football and post-show.
And we will get to that, obviously. High school football is in full force.
Yes, it is.
So I'm going to turn this over to Steve. He has the monologue this week, and all I want to say is the monologue is sponsored by Coriano Trucking of Summerhill, New York. Steve, I turn the mic over to you.
I'm going to talk about college football and one team specifically, the UConn Huskies. So the reason I bring that up is UConn is traveling to Clemson today to take on the Tigers in Clemson. They're a 51-point underdog. Oof. Okay? I forgot that UConn appeared in the 2010 Fiesta Bowl and played Oklahoma 11 years ago.
Okay.
Since that, right, the Big East broke up, the ACC formed, Boston College, Syracuse, right, everybody jumped ship. And I read a great piece this week about UConn and the state of UConn football. UConn in football got squeezed out of the ACC, okay? So they were basically left with no conference, and from a recruiting standpoint, the wheels just fell off the cart. So this Randy Edsall was the head coach. He did a really good job at UConn, et cetera, et cetera. The point being is the state of UConn, they're considered now one of the worst football teams in the country. And they made news this week by hiring Jim Mora Jr., who I think is a great fit for what they want to do. Of course, UConn, we think of basketball, right? But Paul Pasqualoni was the former Syracuse head coach. He took over the program, couldn't do anything with it from a recruiting standpoint. But there was one guy, Bob Diaco, and Bob Diaco was Notre Dame assistant coach, and he took over UConn. And the reason I want to bring up Bob Diaco is it was very refreshing to see what he said about UConn, and you could blame, again, the breakup of the Big East, not getting in the ACC. But this is what Bob Diaco said about his time at UConn. I just didn't win enough games in that year I was there. With the expectations were what they were. But it wasn't for a lack of support and resources. It was just my fault, honestly. It's a production business, and if it's not there, then you don't get to do it. I take complete accountability. I don't think there were ever any resource problem, conference-related, nobody else's fault. So I thought that was refreshing. UConn, again, is playing Clemson today, 51-point underdogs. UConn and Jim Mora Jr. have a lot of building to do. So I just wanted to bring up the state of UConn football.
Okay, and you're right. You hit it right on the head. It's, Jim Calhoun and basketball, and women, Gino Oriamo.
It's basketball first.
But you're right, and this is kind of a big name. I think you've always been a kind of a Jim Mora Jr. fan.
I am.
A long time, but he had head coaching gigs at what, UCLA?
Yeah. He has no ties to the Northeast. He's a West Coast guy, right?
Yeah.
And Jim Mora Jr.
Well, the program's obviously in disarray, so you had to, bring a big name coach and kind of.
He's 59 or 60.
He's 59,
right?
Yeah.
It's a good hire. UConn has the facilities, man. They have it all.
Oh,
their football facility is actually better than Florida State's right now.
It's huge. Yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So. Again, I just wanted to bring that up.
Well, that's a good monologue, but I saw that too. That Jim Mora Jr. signing didn't pass me by, Because listen, you're right. 2010 they had a good run, and now the program is a mess.
Randy Edsall, who I mentioned as the head coach, who took him to the Fiesta Bowl, he came back. He quit after 2 games this year. Why? Because it wasn't the same.
He was kicked out after 2 games.
It was, but the point is, UConn had fallen on such hard times that this guy saw the writing on the wall. So,
Oh, this goes out to Mike Garvey because he's a Connecticut guy.
Yeah.
And Lynch Toyota,
And
one
listen,
of our sponsors.
To be honest, I think Clemson's going to win 66 to 6, maybe.
I don't think so.
Oh, they are going to murder them.
Well, you're
UConn
the pick dogs guy with the points.
Yeah,
you giving somebody 51 points?
Clemson, because Clemson is 6-3.
Not at my funeral would I give anybody 51 points.
Clemson is 6-3, and UConn, they're going to be crash test dummies out on that football field.
Okay.
They are going to get their asses kicked today.
Okay.
And UConn will get a check for $1.2 million.
Hey, listen, Steve, while we're on college football, you and I talked about this last week on the show. Scott Frost gets a reprieve.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Disappointed?
No.
He's taking this program in the right direction? Is that what
He's
you're
trying.
saying? Look at his record, though.
I understand that. But Scott Frost is the same guy that went 13-0 with
I know.
UCF.
But you brought it up with the new,
Trev Alberts.
Trev Alberts. They must be buddies.
Don't
right?
get me wrong. Scott Frost is taking a pay cut. There's no question.
Okay, he makes $5 million a year.
The point is, Scott Frost is a legend in Nebraska.
Okay, but the numbers are just deplorable.
I understand. I don't see why you would pull the plug on this right now. Who else are they going to bring in?
Again, you're right about that. I don't know who
like
they
a
would
Chip
bring
Kelly type, you know.
Okay, but 1 year, 2 years, you get a free pass. This is wrapping up his 4th year,
I get it.
and his numbers are just deplorable.
I fully understand, but I think Scott Frost, his resume, I'm not surprised that Alberts has given him a longer leash.
Yeah. So let's talk about this college football. The playoff rankings are around, and
Still too early.
right. But we talked about Michigan State. They got upset. I got to give you kudos on that. I think you said keep your eyes out for this.
Big trap game, and it turned out to be. Purdue now is coming to Ohio State.
They're going to get rolled.
Oh, they're going to get. They are going
rolled.
Yes, they are.
Right.
No question.
But
Ohio State's going to be one of the 4 teams.
Right, but how does Michigan pass Michigan State?
It's a good question. It's obviously head-to-head Michigan State beat Michigan, so everybody raised an eyebrow. Michigan, I think, is what 6th or 5th or 6th.
5th, I think.
Something like I think 6th, and Michigan State 7th. But if you look at every other head-to-head statistics, so on and so forth, Michigan is better. I get it. I get it.
But we're all waiting for November 28th when the Buckeyes and the Wolverines take the field.
It's just a foregone conclusion.
I know.
They take the field.
I know that.
Yeah. But, yeah, it raised an eyebrow. Why would Michigan be ahead of Michigan State when obviously Michigan State beats them?
But the big game today is Michigan's got to play Penn State at noon today.
Yeah.
What do you think? Penn State just seems to just kind of disappoint, actually, lately for me.
I have to think Michigan wins. I think it'll be a close game. I have to go with Michigan.
Yeah, that's kind of the marquee game. There's not a lot of big games. Cincinnati struggled last night against, North Dakota State? Something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that. But
No, University of South Florida, the Bulls.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's why Cincinnati is not going to make the top 4.
Exactly.
It's because games like that, they have to win 66-0.
Exactly. And they're not Georgia. They're not, Ohio State. They're not that caliber of a team. So if they get shut out, it's not going to be a surprise.
Yeah, they're going to go to the Sugar Bowl. They're going to go to a top-tier bowl. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But they're not going to make the playoff.
But I think that's the marquee game today. There's not a lot of big ones. They had the world's largest cocktail party, already.
Yeah,
So.
Florida's imploding. Florida.
Mullen's in turmoil, right? And we like him. Both you and I like
Listen,
him.
Mullen had to fire 2 long-time assistants on offense. I think one was an offensive line coach.
And had to do that to keep his job,
of
I
course.
guess.
And he fired the defensive coordinator, Todd Grantham.
Yep.
Grantham has been at Georgia, has been around. But Florida is having a very disappointing year. They don't have a quarterback. They really don't have.
The guy blew out his knee dancing in the hotel before the game.
Yeah, well, dancing. You're a dancing machine.
But Dan Mullen has made some comments, about recruiting that's gotten him in a little hot water. So it's a mess down there.
It's a tough conference.
A long way from the Steve Spurrier days, right? Say what you like, he was a brash guy, but
the all-ball coach.
He won.
He did.
And you played quarterback at Florida. You won a Heisman Trophy with Steve Spurrier. Right?
That is correct.
So let's move on to the professional ranks of football, right? The National Football League. What do you think the number one story is with the National Football League? Of Aaron Rodgers, maybe?
OBJ to the Rams.
I know, I was going to get to that. Cam to the Panthers.
Yeah.
For $10 million for what, 8 weeks of work?
Hey.
It's
prorated. What can I tell you?
But we've talked about this, paying these people, it's out of control. Out of control.
Did we talk about what Roger Goodell just made in 2 years? Yes, we talked about it.
We did.
There's so much money, $10 million is nothing.
Yeah. But
OBJ to the Rams, I'm glad. This way he can implode a lot quicker, being in Los Angeles as opposed to like Green Bay or something.
And we did talk about this last week, but he did, this guy makes it. He's making millions and millions of dollars, Is it a good fit? What do you think? A good fit?
Yeah, he's got Matt Stafford as a quarterback. We shall see. Why not take a flyer on this?
I guess.
We talked about the Rams. The Rams don't have any assets anymore. They're all in. All chips are in the middle of the poker table here.
Yeah.
They just traded for Von Miller. Now they get OBJ,
And they have Aaron
Donald. Jalen Ramsey's shutdown corner.
Yeah, they got to go. They're loaded.
Cooper Kupp is outstanding.
He's come out of nowhere.
He's outstanding. Robert Woods is a good receiver. So, is it a good fit? Yeah, I think it is.
Right.
And again, I dislike this guy. I don't want him on my team.
I just don't think he's a team player to the point where he looks beyond his own selfish individual things. We talked about it.
I can't.
He's talented. We don't deny that.
He is.
We don't deny.
But I want nothing to do with him.
But let's stay with the NFL. How about this Mac Jones thing? Did you see that video? It's kind of bizarre, actually.
Big Brian Burns on Carolina crying because the quarterback was holding his ankle and twisting it. Get out of here.
I'm just saying, the footage looks a little, what are you doing?
It's like Van
Plays over.
It's like Van Gundy breaking up the fight and Alonzo Mourning's leg.
Oh, that's classic.
Crawling on his leg.
Like a mosquito.
It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
That was a good reference, actually. How about this taunting penalty? I just wanted to bring this up in the Bears game.
Right? Bears.
Kind of over the top. I mean, right?
Ridiculous.
These guys, they should have free reign. They make a tackle, get up, and go back to the huddle. Not like Walter Payton. Every time he got up, bounced up, handed the ball, the ref to the ball, and went to the huddle.
It would be nice. That's how we...
but it was because he bumped the guy.
That's how we were taught, but it's not happening in today's society.
I know, but it's crazy.
It's crazy. Listen, it cost the Bears big time.
Yeah. So let's
But back to Aaron Rodgers, you glanced over that.
I've had enough of it. That's why I glanced over it.
Aaron is getting a lot of ribbing this week, and
does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter whatsoever.
Exactly.
He'll be back against Seattle.
Exactly.
That's it. Right?
Situation diffused. It's over.
Right, but Mr. Love didn't look too impressive.
Okay, but we want to throw a guy under the bus for his first NFL start.
I am
prime
just
time.
stating a fact that
know.
Mr. Love didn't look
of course.
polished, I will say. He looked absolutely ridiculous on a couple things.
He kind of looked a little silly, but
Yes.
that's growing pains kind of thing.
And don't think Aaron Rodgers wasn't on his couch laughing his ass off.
God.
Laughing his ass off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wasn't wearing a mask watching the game either.
No, I was wearing a ski cap.
Right. Enough with that. At least trim it, for God's sake. Anyway, but that's funny, Let's go to our NFL picks for the week, Steve. So, as our loyal listeners know, Steve and I pick 2 games a week. I won both my games last week, actually.
Oh, did you?
I had New England, and I had the Chargers last week. And they both won.
Wow.
So here's my 2 picks. Atlanta against your Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
And I'm going with your Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
They got annihilated and embarrassed last week. That's not going to happen again.
That's bad.
So
We took a big hit this week. Randy Gregory's going to be out for 3 weeks. This guy's really...
Oh, God, you guys have been pumping him up for years. He's never on the field, though. This guy.
No, he was never on. It wasn't because of injuries. I mean, the Randy Gregory story is what it is. The guy's still in his mid-20s. But, yeah, this was there. You saw what talent this guy has. Good news is he's only out for 3 weeks. But, again, injuries are part of,
Exactly.
That goes down, it's big trouble. Yeah. I like the Cowboys to rebound against the Falcons.
Okay. And my second game is the Buffalo Bills against the New York Jets. And the Bills had a tough loss a week ago. I'd like them to bounce back. I think Josh Allen's going to run wild. That Jets defense is horrible.
Awful.
So that's my 2 picks for the week, Steve. I'll give you your 2 picks.
Well, I'm going to go with the Cowboys as well. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are home against the pathetic Lions. So Detroit will be on the road. Jared Goff.
Not exactly a reach, but
we're
picking games.
You made the same comment and laughed last week about when it said the Bills and the Jaguars.
And how about the Ravens Dolphins on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah,
that's a DraftKings special.
It was.
Actually, all the bookies that lost the week before made their money back on that because nobody picked the Dolphins, and I've said the Dolphins are horrible. So,
I took the under in that, so I won.
Okay. So, National Football League, mid-season.
Mid-season.
Right? Giants have a bye week, and let's see how the Mike White era pans out for the New York Jets.
We shall see.
Zach was back at practice, so is he getting his job back, or is he going to sit on the sideline?
We shall see.
We will.
The Bills were angry, my friend.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen tomorrow.
So let's move on to, real quick.
But real quick, back to the Jets. It's the right call to play this kid, Mike White.
I disagree.
No,
I think you got to be all in on the second pick in the draft.
No. I mean, before Mike White got hurt in the Indianapolis game, he threw a beautiful touchdown pass. Literally had 97 yards in the first quarter.
Right, but Kent Graham's first game as the Giants quarterback, you said he's got to be your guy of the future.
No, I never said that.
I said, I'm using that in generic terms.
My point about Mike White is he's seeing the field. That's the difference.
In 1 week? In 1 week he's seeing the field? You're a quarterback.
The numbers don't lie. He was 37 for 45 for 405 yards.
I'm not rooting against Mike White.
I'm just saying, ride this out. Zach Wilson, sit and learn. That's all.
And he's going to get that, he had that great
This could
game.
be the best thing for Zach Wilson. It really could be.
What, thinking some guy's going to take your job?
No,
kind of thing?
to take a step back and stop trying to be Superman as a rookie. It doesn't work.
I get it. We know out of 6, rookie quarterbacks that come into the league, 4 will do good and 2 will go.
The worst case scenario here, it's a win-win for Mike White and it's a win-win for Zach Wilson. Mike White is now a recognizable name. Somebody's going to take him.
But the Bills tear him apart.
But somebody
Sunday.
will take him, okay? He may have an opportunity to start somewhere at some point.
Oh, no.
And Zach Wilson, obviously, is the Jets' future.
No question.
So I think this is a win-win. There's no reason to throw Zach Wilson back in against the Bills coming off.
Well, they're going to get beat.
An embarrassed Bills team that's going to be, foaming at the mouth tomorrow.
No. So let's move on to Major League Baseball, Steve. How about this? Clayton Kershaw was not offered a contract by the Dodgers. His
Big
career
deal.
done?
No, we'll be back.
Going to the Hall of Fame. We've talked about that before.
Not even a debate there.
Is there anything left though? His arm could be,
If he wants to play, he'll be back with the Dodgers. That's it. Period. J.D. Martinez decided to go back to Boston. He's not testing free agency.
Dude, his numbers. I've talked about him. He is ferocious.
No,
I don't know.
really, he's good.
Especially in Boston. I mean, that's the Red Sox wanted to have somebody come back. It's him.
Yeah.
I like him.
The Cardinals had 5 guys with Gold Gloves, which is a record.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
I saw one Gold Glove. I was a little surprised.
Joey Gallo.
Yeah, that's it.
That's my boy.
That's not my boy. A 206 lifetime average is not my boy.
I can't say.
And you're going to tell me he's that good in the field that he deserved the Gold Glove? Come on.
I haven't seen a better outfielder in left field than Carl Yastrzemski. Al Kaline.
Sandy Amaros.
That's an impression of my father.
Very good one, by the way. So here's a funny thing. We're talking about it. Are they giving money away in Major League Baseball? And our brother Thomas is going to love this. Andrew Haney signs an $8.5 million contract with the
L.A. Dodgers.
The Dodgers. All he did was give up home runs in New York. Is that unbelievable?
I actually got it when I read it at work. I actually stood up at my desk and started clapping.
And what was our brother's line? The corn industry is
Kellogg's.
Stock is down. $8.5 million. They're giving money away.
That's what I did. I was at work. My colleague Frank had his back to me. I stand up. I start clapping. He goes, "What's that?" I go, "Great news. Andrew Heaney just signed with the L.A. Dodgers. I don't ever have to see him pitch again for the New York Yankees."
Boy, to get rewarded for less than mediocre performance is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? That's sports.
Not
right?
a bad offseason for Andrew.
There's a lot of money out there.
I think the Yankees are going to... The goal signs are starting to indicate Carlos Correa is the target.
That was my lead
I think he wants to
candidate.
come here. I don't have an issue with this guy.
No, either way. We said it. It's him or Seager.
The Houston thing, right? I mean, am I supposed to brand Carlos Correa as a cheater? No, right? The team itself cheated. Carlos Correa, once he puts Yankee pinstripes on,
it's the same. Houston Astros
it's
thing
the same
again?
as it's the same as Ulf Samuelson wearing a New York Ranger uniform.
But
right?
he was good for the Rangers.
Well, my point is we hated this guy. But my point is once you put that team, your favorite team's uniform on, all is forgiven.
Exactly.
So Carlos Correa will be welcome to New York. I think this kid he's a player.
Well, he's going to get the most money out of any free
I think he's
agent.
better than Gleyber Torres, the shortstop.
Oh, God, you guys are killing this guy.
No.
He was a second baseman.
But
Leave him alone.
I am actually holding out hope, though.
And James Walsh wants to send him packing, and
I want him packed, too. You didn't run out that ball, I told you. That's
I know
all I
that.
need to see.
He learned from it.
No,
it's not going to happen
I'm
again.
sorry. You're a Major League Baseball player, and you're learning from it?
But,
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
How many guys are Jeter that run out every single... I'm sorry. I don't know.
I heard something that I'm holding a little bit of hope out. Matt Olson on the Oakland A's, first baseman.
I would take
Stud.
him. Yeah.
That the Yankees, Billy Beane and Cashman...
They're eyeballing him.
No, they have a good trade history.
Yep.
Gleyber Torres, you want Sanchez. I don't get...
No, Sanchez has to get sent packing. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, put package Torres, Sanchez, anybody else you want. Get me Matt Olson. I'll take this guy in a heartbeat. You want Luke Voigt? Here you go.
I wouldn't give up Torres for Matt Olson.
Oh, well, in a heartbeat.
He's one of my untouchables. I think he's got such potential. I'm sorry.
Send an email to sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com.
Please
Did you
do.
want to repeat that statement again?
I'm saying this guy's got potential.
You would not give up Gleyber Torres in a deal to get Matt Olson from the
No,
A's.
you could sign him as a free agent. And
Walsh, I'll talk to you Monday morning.
Okay, let's move on. How about the Mets and their general manager search? What do you think about this?
Well,
Do people not want to work for the richest guy on the planet? Besides, Zuckerberg and Gates and all these guys.
it's not good. Listen, midweek I'm sitting there driving home from work,
But why is it not good? What is going on here?
and then I'm hearing, the Mets are. I don't even forget his name. Doesn't matter. Guy's been out of baseball for 7 years. He's a lawyer. He's an analytics guy.
Right.
Really, is this what it's come to? You're joking, right? But they are targeting the guy from Milwaukee.
It's 1,000 names.
I know.
can't even come up with it. Come on.
I can't answer the question. You would think people would jump at it. It's New York City. It's a New York Mets marquee gig, but it's been so uncannily bad.
Listen, you know they offered Theo Epstein the moon to take this job, and even he said,
No, he
"I
didn't
don't
take-
want anything to do with this."
Absolutely.
Right?
Totally.
That was the guy. That was the logical choice, and he even said, "It's out of control. I don't know why anybody would sign up for this."
I'm hoping Theo is waiting for Brian Cashman to retire soon.
Right? Maybe they'll bring in.
I'll take Theo.
Maybe they'll hire Phil Jackson, and bring his Zen thing into this.
Maybe.
He's notoriously known for robbing banks without a mask, right? I mean, the thing that Knicks is still paying him, I'm sure. But anyway, the Mets, I don't know. They got to sign Javi Baez. I'm going to tell you that.
I mean, the Mets had two guys, and one had to get fired because of the sexual text messaging.
Right, and the other one, indiscretion.
The other one just got busted for DWI.
So he's out.
I mean, it's uncanny.
Yep.
And they have to hire a manager. I can't tell you who it's.
Well,
gonna
right
be
now,
at this point.
Sandy's the acting GM for the Mets.
And his son.
Right?
I think his son is his first lieutenant.
Really?
Yeah, well, just his son.
He's the Hal Steinbrenner before George checked out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Let's move on to hockey, Steve. And I got to tell you something. You brought this up when the Rangers signed him 2 years ago, this Panarin. I go, okay, I don't know a lot about him. He is awesome. When he gets the puck, you can always be assured it's going to somebody with an opportunity or a scoring chance. What a player, though. I mean, we're Ranger fans, and I guess, people can call us biased, but this guy is one heck of a hockey player.
Listen, he absolutely is. However, this is the first time in his Ranger tenure he's struggling. He's only got 2 goals.
I watched the Ranger games. He's gotten robbed 10 times.
I disagree. I think he's struggling. I think even Gallant, Gerard Gallant, has referenced it. Zibanejad, too, is struggling, too.
Okay,
Which, again, it's early in the season.
Right, we got 60
The only
games
reason I
left.
bring it up is because,
Yep.
like you said, Panarin is a special player, right? So, listen, the Rangers, Igor Shesterkin is played out of his mind as a goalie.
That's his job.
And I'm thrilled with his development.
Me too.
But Panarin and Zibanejad are struggling right now, which to me is okay because they won't be struggling, come mid-season.
Exactly.
and
We
the
know
other
that.
thing.
Yeah.
But I like what I see out of the Rangers so far. And
I'm going to say the best team right now. Look, the Carolina Hurricanes look really tough. Listen, the Florida Panthers got off to a great start, but they lost a couple on the East Coast, so they're coming back to earth. But you're right, Steve. It's an 80 game season, 81 game season.
the Rangers. So there's Vitaly Kravtsov. No, they drafted him 9th overall 2 years ago. Right? I think we touched on the story.
We did.
He didn't make the team. I want to be traded. So they have to do,
Demoted to the AHL.
Well, no, they loaned him to the KHL, which is in Russia. But he's playing. So there is some interest. I'm hearing Ottawa and Montreal sniffing. You give me Cole Caulfield from Montreal, and you want Kravtsov.
We talked about
how
him
about a
last
one?
week.
I would love a one-on-one swap here. Love it. Cole Caulfield, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, he got
came
demoted.
up, got called up during the Stanley Cup finals and things like that. Had a big goal, just got demoted. I would love if that came to fruition.
All right, but it's sometimes, at some point you got to stop moving the pieces around and go with who you have.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just keep, the Rangers lost out on Jack Eichel for some reason, but, he's not playing this year anyway. This is a long-term gamble kind of thing.
Hey.
But hockey, it's so awesome.
It is.
It really is.
And back to Connor McDavid. I mean, he was the talk of the week in the NHL. I mean, it really. This guy is a spectacular player. He's super talented.
He is.
Ovechkin scores again.
No, he's racking them up.
Oh,
boy,
yeah. Tied Brett Hull, but will break if he didn't break it last night.
I looked at the
fourth all time.
I looked at the side-by-side numbers with Ovechkin and Hull. Hull has more points right now, but he's going to get passed by Ovechkin. But you're right, Steve. I said I didn't think it was a possibility. I'm not ruling it out anymore. He ends up with these. If he keeps scoring these goals,
it's going to happen.
He's got to have what? 2.5 more seasons to do this? Does he got 2.5 more seasons in him? We'll see.
What else is he going to do?
And how about this? One last thing with the NHL, because I saw it in Carey Price, right?
Yeah.
Took advantage of this assistance program, and it turns out he goes, I was in a dark place. I had a problem. So, but he's back, and... Listen, Montreal made a good run last year after kind of a mediocre season.
Absolutely.
But coming out and just saying, I got a problem, it's kind of cool now. You got to do it.
Yeah. Good job, Carey Price. I mean, that's what it's there for.
So, Steve, let's move on to the NBA. And, of course, our NBA segment is sponsored by Lynch Toyota from Manchester, Connecticut.
Hoorah.
And without our sponsors, we'd be just another podcast.
Yeah.
How about the NBA? I want to give a shout out. We talked about it, and we can't deny it no matter what. This Steph Curry, the way this guy shoots, all-time NBA leader in three-pointers, breaking whose record? Number one all-time three-pointer? Please. I'm spoon-feeding you.
Yeah.
Ray Allen.
Yeah, Ray Allen.
Got it.
Like I didn't know that.
I know. But Steph Curry, all of a sudden, we used to think he was 26, 27. He's getting up there, breaking,
Yeah, now he looks like he's 26, 27.
He
even
does.
though he's...
Listen, this guy is such a good basketball player. He's going to be a golfer.
I said...
Challenging Jack Wagner for the celebrity in Reno,
Ex-picture Rick Rhoden.
He's big, right?
Totally.
Al Del Greco.
Absolutely, former kicker.
See, we cover golf, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
But congratulations to him, because this Steph Curry, man, obviously going to the Hall of Fame.
I said last week, hands down, he's the greatest shooter.
Yep.
He's the greatest shooter in NBA history.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And I'm not surprised by anything this guy does when it comes to shooting a basketball.
I agree.
But, the Knicks, Coach Tibbs strikes. Love
the fury of Coach Tibbs.
I loved it. He benches his starters midway third quarter, makes them sit.
Yep.
I took the Knicks last night thinking they were going to rebound.
They got tanked by Charlotte.
They got tanked by Charlotte. But the point is, Tom Thibodeau. I loved it.
Okay, but is it going to matter? It's these guys. The players run, the game.
My point is, Tibbs is trying to coach.
We've talked about him.
I
We
know.
loved him as a hire. We think he's the right guy. But, the NBA, look, the Lakers got blown away last night, right? One of the biggest defeats in the past 20 years.
AD is not happy.
I got to say, I got one of our loyal listeners, Michael Garvey. He says,
Garvey.
I'm going to give you my NBA Finals thing. It's going to be the Heat in the East.
Already?
Yeah. I know it's a Florida thing, but Mike, I watched it.
Mike, we love you to death. Mike, we love you to death.
Yeah,
okay?
the best.
However,
The
Mike, what are we, 10 games in? I'm telling you, the Heat look great.
Hey, that's loyalty.
I
What
know.
can I tell you?
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
The Heat are back, though. All kidding aside.
No, they're actually
The Heat
good.
are back.
Agreed.
No question.
But can they get through Milwaukee? Can they
They
get
have
through
to stay
Brooklyn?
healthy. Listen,
You
you got to stay healthy. It's way too early right now.
And Butler's been out for a couple of games, but
Right.
you're right. Like the NHL.
Jamie Foxx lookalike, Jimmy Butler.
No, Jamie Foxx lookalike is Kevin Durant. I told you that. No. Dead ringer.
Jimmy Butler, look it up, folks.
Please send us an email and agree with
Yeah.
my Kevin Durant lookalike.
Yeah.
Dead
Don't
ringer.
influence the audience. They'll make their own judgments.
All right, folks. So let's move on to our random points of interest.
Interest.
And I saw this thing, Steve, and this is a little close to us because as we embark on our, expanding our platform,
See.
this Dave Portnoy from Barstool,
Yeah.
yeah, he's been kind of targeted with kind of Cuomo allegations or whatever. But this guy's done a lot of good. And listen, we're going to go up against him, and but he's not a bad guy. And I think he's gotten railroaded on this. And it's, let me tell you, he's no Trevor Bauer. Just my thing.
Oh, speaking of Trevor Bauer, I noticed that he didn't opt out of his contract.
He did not?
No, what a surprise.
Needs that for legal fees.
You kidding?
Send that to Rabinowitz, and Sokol.
Rabinowitz.
Right. Anyway, so let's. I just thought this is Portnoy. I like the guy. I like that he's up front and
Oh, the guy's personal. Listen, this guy, he's kind of like a hero to us.
he's kind of done a lot of good things. And listen, if he's
what we're trying to do is kind of like what he did.
Exactly.
And that's it.
that's exactly
So-
and we're going to do it with Blackjack Sports, and,
Yeah.
and we're going to be exactly competitive with him. But I don't want somebody coming after me making up allegations just to bring us down.
Bring it on. That's what our lawyers are for.
And that's what this guy's doing, saying, you know what? I'm not going to let this go. I'm going to take it on because you got no proof. It's ridiculous. That's where we're going with Blackjack Sports, right?
Yeah. Have we made an announcement yet about Blackjack?
Not until we're sure. But we
We're sure.
There are big things on the horizon for sports with Mono and Mono.
Yes.
So,
And it's going to happen next week.
Yep.
All right. So I think we're comfortable enough to say, but next Saturday we'll make the announcement with the new platform.
Yep.
Okay.
but it's going to be about sports, folks. And you can rest assured because today is high school football. Like I said, St. Joe's is playing Don Bosco today.
Yes.
And I actually, Steve, from the old days, our neighbor on Andrew Avenue, Stephen Caravello.
Stephen Caravello.
I sent an email to him and said, today's St. Joe's Bosco. And he goes, I know what Bergen's going on.
Ah.
10 in the country and so forth. Great to hear from him. Loyal listener now going forward.
Oh, absolutely.
And he sends the best to, and his son, his brother Robbie,
Yeah.
big prominent career at Golf Channel.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
also,
Two of our favorite people growing up, and
Yep.
and you know,
finally got back in touch with
right,
Steve.
the Caravello brothers. So Steve was with Jim, and Robbie and I were.
Yep.
Rob is a year younger. But growing up, sports, Steve was a great athlete. Steve played at Seton Hall, played baseball.
Yes, he
He
did.
was a very great
Yep.
basketball player.
So great to connect back with him, though. I got
no
an
doubt.
email. So he follows this stuff.
Right.
And his son was a big star in California high school
Oh,
football.
totally.
So-
And Robbie's career, like you said, with the Golf Channel. See, the coolest thing growing up with the Caravellos is they used to have helmets, right? Like their father Sal was a great guy.
Love
Right?
Sal.
So when Robbie and I or whatever were like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something, Caravellos were Dolphin fans. I'm a Cowboy fan. So this is kind of right after the Super Bowl when the Cowboys beat up the Dolphins, right? But I would wear a cowboy helmet, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
It was funny
and Robbie
as hell.
would have a dolphin helmet.
Yeah.
We play tackle football in the front yard of the Caravellos.
He did every day.
And folks, there was one time where you're a kid, you don't appreciate being a homeowner and all this and a parent, right? Muddy, rainy. There was like 8 of us on, in the neighborhood.
Tearing up the lawn.
Tackle football in the Caravello's front yard.
Yep.
And when I tell you, we destroyed it. Sal comes home from work, was so pissed. Like, what is he all mad about? What did we do?
Well, we did that one night when our parents were out.
Oh,
We
no
had this
doubt.
monsoon rainstorm.
Oh, yeah.
And we put a light in the window in our
We
bedroom.
stuck a lamp out the window, as that was the lighting.
And the next morning, it looked like there was a herd of elephants, charging through.
No doubt.
I don't know how we ever got through
It was Lonesome Dove moving cattle from Texas up to Montana.
But listen, high school football, the playoffs are underway, and it's great. And your Ramapo team won last night.
Yep. So Ramapo is on the verge of probably playing Northern Highlands.
Good
This is
matchup.
Real
coming
good
up,
matchup. So the winner of that then wins the North States, and then they play at MetLife the winner of the South.
Yep.
Which most likely would be Middletown South.
But a couple of other high school teams we talked about was, Park Ridge. They won big last night.
The Owls.
The Owls. And Bergen Catholic, like I said, they're a tough team to beat. That's who we're going to have to meet. So
Yeah, again, I'm going to go on record. Bergen is just loaded for bear this year. I'd be stunned if they don't.
okay, and I've used this reference before. It's just the SEC
It
of
could
high school
don't get
football.
me wrong.
Any day.
I'm just saying. I just think they're the most talented team this
Yeah.
year.
So good luck, and I'm actually going to the game. I'm going to see my St. Joe's Green Knights and
Yeah.
take on Don Bosco.
Yep. I have father responsibilities today, so I can't make it.
Okay.
And then I got to get up early. I'm going to Delaware tomorrow for an all-day lacrosse tournament with
Congratulations.
my boy, who is back playing sports after a rough 2021 with surgeries, and
Broken
stuff.
arm, something
broken
like that.
arms and ligaments and elbows and things like that.
Good.
Yeah.
So listen, United States soccer. The U.S. beat Mexico last night 2-0 in the qualifying round.
Yeah.
The guy we've talked about, he's the up and coming. He's the next, Christian Pulisic and Diego Cruz. I know was watching that.
Right.
Couldn't turn him on to anything else. But that game, it was good. 2-0.
Right. Oh, speaking of soccer, I read a story. There was kind of like a Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding
Incident?
Oh, yeah. Paris Saint-Germain, the women's team.
I do not know that.
Yes. Somebody hired a French Galouli.
Jeff Galouli.
And Galouli, the teammate. And the girl got arrested.
Oh, I don't know about
yeah,
this story.
it was right. So Diego, I'm sure you're aware of that, but
I'm sure he is.
it's totally Kerrigan, Tanya Harding, and Galouli.
Yep. How about college hoops, Steve? Coach K's last season.
Coach K's
The
last
final.
season opens with a bang.
And we knew him when he first started, and the trials and tribulations of taking
He
over
was a
that
little
program.
baby.
It was awesome. But it's his last year, and he's not coming back. He's not going to pull a Jim Boeheim saying, I'm going to retire.
As far as I know, Mike doesn't have any sons that are about to enter into Duke. And
Right. Like Jim Boeheim. He's
Yeah.
got the two Boeheim
Buddy
boys.
and
Buddy and Jim Jr.
yeah,
Jim the
he
third,
gets
actually.
transferred back in for his last season, which is it's cool.
And listen, I've talked about it. I was just hanging out with some Syracuse worshipers, Rusty Smith and Michael Burns, and they watched it. One of them did make a statement. They thought if Dino Biebers might get fired after this
No.
year, I go, no, I think he's doing a great job
Kidding?
there.
Boys, listen, Dino's not going anywhere. He's done a good job, and I talked about this kid, Garrett Schrader.
Good play.
He's the one who's turned this around. He ain't
Yep.
going anywhere. Syracuse is actually playing Louisville today, and it's two running quarterbacks. It's Malik Cunningham on Louisville is kind of like a
Yep.
Lamar Jackson,
Yep.
and Schrader is, like I said, turned the program around. Babers isn't going anywhere.
But listen, with all that's going on in sports, right? College basketball, nobody kind of tunes in, intimately, until after January, right? After the bowl games are
Yeah.
over, kind of
I
thing.
mean, right now it's like Kansas is playing, like Bergen Community College or something.
Yeah,
Those are the games right now.
Here, from the completely biased file, Niagara lost to Ohio State.
Yes,
and
what was
by
the
10.
score?
They lost by 10. It's
Oh.
respectable,
Really?
right?
Only 10?
You and Pick Dogs probably had it, given 20.
Yeah. A little
Just
bit more.
saying, go Purple Eagles.
0-2?
Meh. Let's not talk about the numbers. But listen, before we move on to something we kind of neglected, and I apologize for. It's kind of Veterans Week,
Yeah.
weekend, and
Sure.
and you know how Mono and Mono feels about the people that served, past and present.
That
And
is
I just
correct.
wanted to bring this up that thank you to all our servicemen and
Absolutely.
women that have done protecting our country. And
Veterans Day was Thursday.
it was Thursday, but it's kind of a lot of pomp and circumstances and well deserved. And I when I saw this thing about it was the first time in 100 years, it was the 100th anniversary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and you could actually go and lay flowers where you can't get near it.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time.
Right.
And if you've never done it, go to the changing of the guard at Arlington National Cemetery. It's one of the greatest things of all time.
Yeah.
And we thank them.
Right. If I read correctly, which I think I did, was the changing of the guard. I think very recently it was all female. I think they had an all female.
Oh, for the first time they
Yeah.
found that? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my
The
God.
changing of the guard, which is totally cool.
But I saw it 2 years ago in person, and it's
I've
actually
seen-
mesmerizing.
I've seen it in person. It's
It's one of the greatest
It's really
spectacles, and
it really is.
it ties back to the the veterans that served this country.
I can't remember, but there is a movie about it. Like
There's actually a clip behind the scenes of what it takes to be one of the
Yes.
the guards.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Oh yeah,
Incredible.
You talk about dedication.
No.
This is.
This is the ultimate.
Oh
It's the
yeah,
ultimate.
it's what honor it is to have that.
And to our veterans, we salute you
Absolutely,
and
thank you.
Steve, unfortunately, we move on to our notable passings. Here's one that kind of flew under the radar. Pedro Feliciano
Yeah,
for the Mets.
yeah. During the week it happened.
And I looked at his numbers. He was only 45 years old.
Yep.
But he led the Major League Baseball in appearances
Yeah.
3 years in a row.
Yeah, played for the Mets for at least 7 years or so.
Oh.
Something like that.
45 years old.
And he actually
yeah.
signed with the Yankees, but never pitched for the Yankees because of arm trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a serviceable major leaguer, a great guy, a lovable teammate.
But if you pose that question to me about who led the Major League Baseball in
No,
appearances,
nobody's going to come
I
up
wouldn't
with
have got
that.
it.
But he did have, I think he had heart issues, reading, or epilepsy. It was something along those lines.
Right, but never did anything bad in New York except come to work and
So he
kick
died
the
in his
ball.
sleep. So when I heard he died in his sleep, and then heard that he had a medical condition.
Yep.
It
45.
yeah. R.I.P. Pedro Feliciano.
Good guy.
No
and
problem.
he handled himself
Yeah.
well in New York.
Listen, that's a R.I.P. Totally.
And Steve, we neglected to bring it up last week, but Tom Maddie,
Yes, Tom Maddie, Baltimore Colts fame.
one of the greatest all-time nicknames, period. Garbage can. How about that?
Yeah.
Right? 82 years old.
Yeah.
Played his entire career with the Baltimore Colts.
Yeah.
How about that nickname?
No,
now?
no
Can you
doubt.
top that?
No, totally. Played quarterback for the Colts for about 8 minutes.
Right.
Right. But was famous for being a running back and
Came out of Ohio State
came out of
University.
Ohio State. Played quarterback at Ohio State.
Yep.
But this guy Unitas bumped him at a quarterback. But Tom Maddie was instrumental. Baltimore Colts. Everybody knows that Tom Maddie.
You look at old-time
Great
NFL
football
films,
player.
footage
Yeah.
of the Baltimore Colts. It's Unitas, it's Maddie.
It's
great.
Raymond Berry.
Yep.
It's those names.
82 years old.
Yeah, Tom Maddie, R.I.P.
And the last one from the world of entertainment, Dean Stockwell.
Yes.
When that happened, I saw it. You texted me. I go, oh, I liked him. I go, yeah, he's got quite a resume.
Yeah.
What was he? He's got to be in his 80s. I don't
Oh,
know
it was
what time
absolutely
he
in
is,
his
right?
80s. Yeah, but Dean Stockwell, you know.
Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah, he's been married to the mob.
Right.
You know.
But wasn't he Herbie the Love Bug,
Yeah.
too? I actually saw that in the movie theater. That's how old we are.
Right. Oh, believe me, I saw it too.
Herbie the Love Bug.
Totally. Herbie comes back. Herbie this.
Saw it
Herbie
in
that.
Pompton Lakes. You know?
Oh, Colonial Theater.
Right.
Double
My
feature.
mother dropped us off. We saw like 9 movies that day.
Exactly.
Anyway, but he was a good actor, good career.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us.
And the
everyone.
last one,
Huh?
Moody Blues, the drummer,
Oh,
Graham Edge, passed away.
he had to be, what, 79, I'm
Yeah,
guessing?
he was,
something like
yeah.
that? Oh, founding member of
Founding
Moody Blues?
member. Correct. He was 80 years old.
Okay.
Died of cancer,
Shit.
but founding member, and he wrote a lot of the material.
Nights in White Satin?
Nights in White Satin is
That's the Moody Blues
is
marquee
attributed
song.
to him.
Right.
But yeah, he passed away yesterday. I heard news of that.
All right. Listen, we've had some slow weeks with notables, so you
Yeah.
can't get away from it. But that's our notables for the week. But listen, I want to thank everybody for listening and supporting the show.
Oh wait, there was one other notable passing. Jerry Douglas.
I don't know who
Jerry Douglas was
is.
an actor. Has been in a million things. You got to look at his face, but he's famous for The Young and the Restless. Played John Abbott Sr. for like 30 years, and that was our mother's one of our
Favorite
mother's
soaps,
Favorite soaps. But Jerry Douglas, you would see on The Rockford Files to everything else, Barnaby Jones,
Wow.
you name it.
Character actor.
88 years old, Jerry Douglas.
Cool.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody, thanks for joining us, and enjoy the middle of November. Less than 2 weeks from Thanksgiving, and Steve,
Thanks.
catch a game. Catch a game today if you're out and about. It's beautiful weather. So, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Absolutely. Enjoy the weekend, and
As always, if you got some comments and thoughts, please send us an email at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com.
see.
Thanks. See you next week, folks.
Bye.